I welcome you all to the second part of the trilogy. In the first part, we gave an introduction to our unsung hero. Whenever we hear tales about such phenomenal characters, we tend to tether them to our outlandish opinions like he has descended right from the heaven, or such capabilities are due to his innate talent. By doing this, we are trying to build boundaries around ourselves. And this is fine till the point we sit inside the cubicle comfortably to consume whatever comes into it as a form of entertainment. But it would not allow us to see through the walls, to adapt something from their lives, to fill the missing parts of our jigsaw puzzle. So let's exit from the extol, entering into the execution, and look into the details of how he has forged himself from being mere existence to such excellence. As every other typical human being, our hero also starts his life as a child, so happening and curious. But being brought up close to his parents and the society, his lower instinctive intelligence gets nurtured, and he further travels up the timeline just to face either underwhelming or overwhelming experiences. This happens till the point where the inner chaos reaches a threshold and starts poking sharply from inside, calling for his attention. Then he takes a dip into his inner self, and his till then sleeping higher spiritual intelligence wakes up to show him that the very culprit is his instinct, fueling the compulsion, which in turn is making him to tread more cycles inside the hamster wheel, taking him nowhere. And it also suggests him to take over the control of his faculties, which had been far back hijacked by his very instinctive nature. On knowing this, he at once takes the responsibility, and then and there feels like homecoming, as if the latches holding him back are being freed. And he continues to add strength to this higher intelligence, which in turn gives more freedom to his inner self, and it also lets the rays of clarity spread more wide to capture a bigger picture of life. With his freedom, he travels into the outer world to explore. Whenever he faces a challenge, he tries to persist and finally overcomes. This happens for a number of times until he gets curious to know what's happening behind the black box. In such situations, to make his faculties more reliable for some critical scenarios. Then he again takes a peek into himself while performing intensively for some demanding moments, and finds a radical and disruptive truth that he could churn more horses out of his faculties with sheer will, and them being aligned for synergy, the flow streamlines into a transformative force. With this, the mode shifts from exploration to conquest, a compassionate one though. You wouldn't be taking a performance mission just for grocery shopping, isn't it? He is definitely admired by some, and also, obviously, there are criticisms. He doesn't care about clowns criticizing him, still keeps an eye on egomaniacs who try to concentrate their energies to exploit some mechanisms of life. And whenever challenged for a duel by such people, our hero sets the arena so high that the antagonist would burn out his engines even before reaching there. And our hero will be like, had he come over here, this spectacular view would have brought him more clarity, and hence would have cured him. There are also supervillains who continue to feed their ego even after reaching there, and for them, our hero gives a warning for one final time, which itself is half hazardous to take the opponent halfway to death. And if necessary, he even ends the opponent. Living such life, being a golden compass for sailors in turbulent waters, he also chooses to leave his body one day, just to ever live after through his posthumous glory. Unplug and hang loose.